Instagram and everyone else joining on the recorded version. My name is Clare Preuss. I'm the Artistic Director at Downstage, and welcome to Creative Stretch this Monday, May 11th. And today our theme is focus. I thought it was an interesting theme for today, just based on so much of what's going on in the world right now and the different focus that we're required to have in order not only just to have our sort of daily lives, but also in order to think of how we want to grow and shift and continue to expand and evolve during this time. So as always, please do feel free to have your yoga mat here with you. Some of you are joining live on Instagram, so come and go as you wish, hang out and watch it from the couch or join along with bits and pieces or all of it. And thank you to those who are also joining recorded on our recorded version. So do feel free to have a big journal or something and a pen around for later on. We're going to do a bit of writing stuff. Feel free to have your yoga mat close by. If you want to practice on a towel or on the floor, that's cool too. And then if you need a blanket, sometimes people want a blanket maybe for under your knees. You can roll it up and put it under your knees. Or later on, we're going to do some deep relaxation. So you can also have the blanket for that part. So happy to see all of you here today, and I look forward to practicing with you. So let's begin on our backs, getting nice and relaxed and connected to the ground. Focusing on that base that supports us. Let's relax into that supportive earth energy. If your lower back is feeling a little tight today, feel free to bring the soles of your feet to the ground. And if your lower back's feeling okay, let your feet be a little wider than your hips, toes turned out naturally. Wherever you are, feel free to wiggle your bum away from your head. Get some space in that lower spine. Roll your shoulders back and down and let the palms of your hands face the sky. And if you'd like to close your eyes just to bring the focus internally right now, I welcome you to do that, letting your whole body relax into the ground. And I'm leading today's practice from Treaty 7 territory. Feel free to have a moment to just appreciate whatever land you're on and all the beings that have cared for that land, and as we continue to care for the land moving forward. Begin to let your breaths get slow and steady, deep and even. I find bringing a focus to that deep, steady breath helps to calm my mind and bring it into the present moment. And then allowing your head to follow that deep, steady breath. As you exhale, roll your right ear to the floor. Inhale, roll your head to center. Exhale, roll your left ear to the floor. Inhale, roll your head to center. Exhale as you roll the ear to the floor. Inhale as you roll your head to center. Just gently welcoming your brain into the present moment focus. Good, let's do one more round on your own time. When you're finished your last round, let your head come back to center. Keep your shoulders nice and heavy, and we're going to focus a little bit on our core right now. So I often talk about that seed center, that space between your pubic bone and your belly button. So we're going to bring some focus to that area, really thinking of guiding from the seed center, working on some little micro movements. Talk about focus. So taking your hands to your hip bones, just so you can kind of feel the tone in that space between your hip bones. And then as you breathe out, you're just going to tip your tailbone away from the floor. So it's just gently floating away from the floor. Breathing in, tip your tailbone so it touches the floor. A little room under your lower back. Breathing out, tailbone away from the floor. Breathing in, tailbone to the floor. So really small movement. Breathing out as you tilt. Breathing in as you tilt. Breathing out, tilting the tailbone away from the floor, lower spine in the ground. Breathing in, tilt the tailbone to the floor. Little space under your lower back. Good. Let's keep playing with this. So we're toning the abdominals, but we're really also bringing that sense of focus to the ability for that area to guide. And in yoga, that space between the pubic bone and the belly button is known as our creative center. So moving from that creative center. Good. Let's do one more. And then coming back to a nice, gentle neutral. Now let's try thinking of your hip bones moving up to the sky as you breathe out. So breathing out, taking your right hip bone up to the sky, breathing in back to center. Breathing out, tipping your pelvis so the left hip bone is up to the sky, breathing in center. Breathing out, breathing in. Breathing out, breathing in. And this is actually very much the movement you do when you're walking. So one hip bone comes higher, the other retreats a bit. Breathing out, one hip bone higher, breathing in to center. Breathing out, other hip bone higher, breathing in to center. Good. Let's do one more on each side. Sweet. Okay, we're going to do one last little round focusing on that seed center. So float your feet up off the ground, calves parallel to the floor, and now you're going to imagine you're a happy dog wagging your tail, but you want to guide right from that space between the pubic bone and the belly button as you do it, okay? So you can let your arms float up too, just so you're really focusing on moving from your core, and you're going to wag your tail like you're a dog. Breathing out, and you can just focus on breathing out, 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 out. Bit more of an active breath. Here we go. Out, out. Couple more. Good. Let's try that one more time. So it's a bit faster. You're focusing on those exhalations. Here we go. Nice. Let's bring those feet back down to the ground, and now we'll move into a gentle spinal twist, a little dynamic spinal twist. So taking your hands behind your head like you're going to do a sit-up, keeping your shoulders and elbows nice and heavy, rooted into the ground, and keep focusing on that seed center as you twist. So breathing out, twisting over to the right, keep your right shoulder blade nice and heavy in the ground, breathing into center, breathing out, twist to the right, left shoulder blade is heavy, breathing in center, breathing out as you twist, breathing into center, breathing out as you twist, breathing into center. So bigger movement, but still focusing on the guidance of that seed center as you move, breathing out as you twist, breathing into center. Good. One more on each side. Breathing out as you twist. Breathing into center. And then as you breathe out and roll onto your right side, gently coming up to sitting. Sweet. And from here, we're actually going to move right into our vinyasa today. So coming onto your hands and knees, focusing on that seed center. Oh la la, the vinyasa is such a nice way to really focus on that guidance coming from the space between your pubic bone and your belly button. And moving slowly, I find, helps this focus. You really want to feel like you're moving through honey. Slow, steady movement, awareness as you move. Feel every cell of your body moving, being guided by that seed center. Spreading your fingers nice and wide, shoulders right above those wrists, hips are above your knees. And as you breathe out, tipping your pelvis, round your back, coming back into child's pose. Breathing in, hands and knees, hips right above your knees, back bend. Breathing out, curl your toes under, downward facing dog. Breathing in, hands and knees, back bend. Breathing out, child's pose. Focus emanating from that seed center, breathing in, back bend. Breathing out, downward facing dog. Breathing in, hands and knees, back bend. Breathing out, round your spine, child's pose. Good. Start to feel that rhythm. Breathing in. Let your brain relax into the present moment. Breathing out, down dog. Breathing in, hands and knees. Back bend, letting go of any extra thoughts. Breathing out, child's pose. Feel the pleasure of the focus on this present moment. Breathing in, be here with every cell of your being. Breathing out, downward dog. Breathing in, hands and knees. Back bend, good. Breathing out, child's pose. Breathing in, hands and knees, back bend. Breathing out, downward dog. And let's stay here in downward dog. Feet right underneath your hip bones as you walk your hands back toward your feet. Coming into a standing forward bend. Let your neck relax. Let your shoulders be nice and heavy. You can even have a little nod, yes and no with your head, really letting go of any holding here. Shoulders heavy, arms soft. Tipping your pelvis forward just a little. Let's take 2 more big, deep breaths here. Focusing your breath into the back of the body. We often forget to breathe into our backs. Let's make the most use of that breath that we can, oxygenating those cells, slowly coming all the way up. It's like actual science that if you take longer to breathe in and out, it actually gives more time to oxygenate the cells of your body. Healthy cells, healthy body, woo! All right, let's bring the focus back to our yoga practice. So taking those feet nice and wide, letting the outer edges of your feet be parallel to each other. So you can always check out the outer edges of your mat and line up the feet with the outer edges of the mat. Feeling that support from your lower belly, from your seed center. Interlacing the fingers behind your back if you can, keeping your elbows soft, bringing the palms together. Or if that does not feel good for your body, you can just rest your hands on your upper butt. That's cool too. And then hug your elbows toward each other if that's the option you're going for. And then as you breathe out, lengthen your chest forward, tipping your pelvis forward. Take those arms up and over, letting your neck relax. Nice, gentle forward bend. Let your shoulders be heavy, keeping a gentle softness in the elbows. 2 more big, generous breaths here. And then breathing in, slowly come all the way up. Take your time. And breathing out. Let's release those arms, bring the feet and hands together. And look, we figured it out. You can see my whole body today, everybody. I think most people, hopefully. Great. So we're going to move into a balance pose. I think this is a great way to stoke your focus, is by going into some of these balance poses. So spread your left toes nice and wide. Find one point of focus either on the ground or the wall in front of you. We're going to move into tree pose. So take the sole of your right foot to the inner left ankle, calf, or thigh. Just make sure there's no direct pressure on your standing knee. And then you can take your hands to the heart center to begin with. And when you're ready, blossoming those arms up if you'd like into a V. Softening the shoulders. Keep letting that bent knee, that hip, let it soften down. Think of your standing thigh bone lengthening out from the hip socket. Shoulder blades sinking down your back for 2 more big, generous breaths. And exhale, taking those hands back to the heart center, knee to center, and foot to the floor. Sweet, let's change sides. So when you're focusing with your eyes, let the eyes be soft and steady in their focus. Spread your toes nice and wide, finding your point of focus, letting the eyes be soft and steady. Align that left foot somewhere along the right leg as long as you're not touching that knee directly. If your foot is on the thigh, press the foot into the thigh. Press the thigh back into the foot, leveling your hips as best you can. Floating those arms up if you'd like, and breathe. Now let's see if you can allow your focus to be centered in that area between the pubic bone and belly button, and then emanating all the way through your whole body, so you're aware of your whole body balancing in space. One more big nourishing breath here. Beautiful. Exhale gently, taking the hands back down to the heart center and knee to center, foot to the floor. Sweet. Let's come into that classic triangle pose. Love this pose, does so many good things. Take your right toes out 90 degrees, left foot in slightly. Heel to arch alignment in those feet, and just focusing on the hips and the alignment of the hips. So you're going to soften that right hip crease deep into the body. Let your left hip roll forward a bit, and think of your tailbone lengthening out toward that wall on the left. Stretch over your right leg. You can look down just to make sure the torso is directly above the leg. Taking the right arm down, left arm up, looking at your point of focus, either that left thumb or the wall in front of you or the floor. And let that point of focus also be on that seed center, supporting from your seed center, rooting into your feet, being aware of your hands stretching away from each other. Breathe deeply. Shine bright. Enjoy each breath here, living in each pose fully with mind, breath, and body. So good. As you breathe in, slowly coming up, looking at the ground if you need to. And let's change sides. Right toes come in slightly, left foot out 90 degrees. Spread the toes. That gives you such a nice solid base to play with. And then I sometimes like to think of my feet kind of sinking into some sand as a way to feel really rooted and grounded in these standing poses. Sink your left hip crease deep into your body. Roll your right hip forward, extending over that left leg. Left arm down, right arm up. Finding your point of focus, letting it be soft and steady, supporting from your seed center, and expand. Breathe into every cell of your body. Let's take one more juicy breath here. Awesome. Breathing in, slowly coming all the way up and breathing out. Relax those arms. Keep your feet wide. All right, people, we're going to come into half moon pose. So this is another balancing pose, and I find it to be a really fun one, but really be easy on yourself here. Know that if you come out of it, you just got the ground to support you and hold you. You might also want to take a chair and put your hand on the chair instead of putting your hand on the floor, or if you do have any blocks available to you, this might be an opportunity to put your hand on the blocks. So if you are using blocks, put the blocks just a few inches in front of your feet, about 1 foot apart from each other, so in alignment with your shoulders, really. And if you are using the floor, just bring the very tips of your fingers to the floor. Find your point of focus on the ground, and now bring the weight into your right foot. Let your left foot float up to the sky until that leg is parallel to the floor, flexing through that left foot. And this might be where you stay. If you want to stack your left hip on top of the right, opening that left hip up to the sky, you can also float that left arm up to the sky, and now reach, breathe, feel the focus supported by that seed center and flowing through the whole body, breathing into your whole body here. You might even want to look forward if you'd like. You might even want to look up toward your left thumb. And exhale, slowly coming down. Sweet. Let's walk ourselves to the other side. Left toes turn out 90 degrees. Find your point of focus. And we're not putting very much weight on those fingertips at all. Just a little bit of weight. Focus is steady wherever it is. Float that right leg up. This might be where you stay. This might be plenty of a challenge for you. Awesome. If you want to go further, open that right hip up to the sky. Keep looking at the floor to begin with. Float that right arm up if you'd like. Breathe into that big star of a body of yours. That's it. And if you want to play with switching the focus a little, you can look at the wall in front of you. or up toward your right thumb. See where you're at today. Good. Exhale, releasing down. Let's come back to center. And sometimes, let me see where we're at for time here. Sometimes the more challenging poses can also give us a sense of really hyper focus, which I find kind of fun because you kind of have to focus. You have to breathe and focus in those balancing poses. Let's do a couple more, just a little bit more challenging poses, and then we'll come back down to the floor. So moving into a variation of Warrior One. You can either bring that left knee to the ground if that feels better for you. So we're going to turn toward that right side of the mat, squaring your hips toward the end of that mat. Or you might want to float that back leg up, rooting into that back heel. Keep squaring the hips, sink your right hip back and down. Lots of weight in that front heel. And make sure the knee does not go past the ankle. Supporting from your seat center, blossom your heart up to the sky. Sweep those arms up beside your ears if you'd like. You can bring the focus to the space between your hands or looking at the floor or the wall in front of you. 2 more deep, full breaths here. Softening the shoulder blades down your back. So good. Exhale, taking those arms down. Let's pivot to the left side, coming into the same pose on the other side. Variation on Warrior One. So start with that right knee on the ground, toes curled under. Square your hips as best you can. Roll that right hip forward, sink that left hip crease back and down. Check that your front knee is not going past your ankle, and then float that back heel away from the ground. Support from your lower belly. Blossom those arms up beside your ears. Find your point of focus and breathe. See if you can be aware of every cell of your body from the tips of your fingers to the tips of the toes, all the way through those organs. And exhale, take the hands on either side of that front foot, coming into plank, and your body may prefer to bring the knees to the ground. Lots of room in those shoulder joints as you lengthen the arms out from the shoulders, gently hugging the outer thighs toward the midline, sinking your belly button toward your spine for 1 more big breath. Beautiful. Knees to the ground, child's pose. Let's take a few breaths here. And this might be a place where you want to stack your fists on top of each other and rest the forehead on your fists. Or the arms can come down by your sides, or the arms can come out in front of you. Breath into the back of the body. Allow your focus to be on relaxation, letting go. Take it easy after a few of those more active poses. So good. And then slowly rolling up to sitting. Oh my goodness, it's already time for meditation. Like, what even happened there, right? I feel like we did a bunch of yoga. It went quite quickly, and now we're going to dive into some meditation. So this is just an opportunity for you to be really simple in your focus. What I love about meditation is the freedom it gives when you're really allowed to let your brain just be totally soft and still, not thinking about anything from past or future, just becoming aware of a room noise, something really simple. Maybe it's the sound of a fridge or something. And we're just going to focus on that sound for about 5 minutes. And if any extra thoughts come through your mind, don't judge, just let them go. Come back to the room noise. And if you start feeling some good emotions, stoke that too. Just like allow yourself to feel that pleasure of really the simple present moment awareness. All right, I'll see you on the other side. We'll take about 5 minutes for it. Slowly beginning to open your eyes. And staying in your meditative flow, I welcome you to now take your journal. I'm going to put on some music, and this is a pretty short one. I think it's just a couple of minutes. And I'm encouraging you to just take this time with this music playing to move into that sense of what you would like to focus on, or potentially even what this time, I think we're going into week 8 of COVID, what this time has brought you in terms of focus and things that you're keen to focus on, you're being drawn to focus on. It might also be stuff that you're focusing on that you'd prefer not to, but just let that word focus kind of guide you a little bit. So this is just over 2.5 minutes, and it's a Tuareg piece, and I just love Tuareg music, and for those of you that aren't aware, it's a nomadic group of people who move, I think, through northern Niger and some other areas in Africa, and just that sense of the rhythm of the piece I really like, but there's also a bit of playfulness and growth, so I thought it would be a nice one for focus. About 2.5 minutes, here we go, jamming on focus, in whatever way feels good to you. Excellent, and just finishing up your last sentence there. And let's keep playing a little bit with this notion of focus. So what I love about focus, when you're focused on something you want, it does amp up the momentum. When you're focused on something you don't want, it tends to also amp up the momentum, right? And sometimes it can be hard to think, I don't want to focus on this, because you're still focusing on it. Even if you don't want to be focused on it, that's still what you're thinking about. So I welcome you to write down some things that may have come up in your writing. If it's stuff that you're focused on that you'd rather not be focused on, maybe put that in a left-hand column. And if it's stuff that you want to be focused on, put that in the right-hand column. So let's just have a go for it. Probably there's a mixed bag for a lot of us of things that we're focused on. Maybe write 3 more on in each column, or if you're finding that you have lots in your right column, good for you. That's awesome. Great, and just finishing up your last one there. And you might even notice that some of the stuff in your right-hand column, the things you'd like to be focusing on, or perhaps you already are focusing on, you want to keep building that focus, some of them might even be able to help you out with the stuff in the left-hand column. So let's say you find yourself, you're watching a lot of TV and you're like, oh, you know what, I could actually watch less TV. Rather than focusing on, I need to watch less TV, maybe you can look at stuff on your right-hand column. Oh, I actually want to write poetry. So might want to think about creating a bit of time in your day when you normally would watch TV to write one poem or one little stanza. Or, you know, you want to get outside more. So, okay, great. So like when I think about how can I create some time to go outside, and just let that be your focus. Even I sometimes find, even knowing in the morning, like I know at some point today I want to go for a walk, and then I just kind of keep that stoking in my brain, and at some point, oh, it just seems to happen because I've kept that focus going gently and without a sense of pressure. I think it's nice when the focus can be playful and gentle. So it's not about something you have to do, but it's about something you're just keen to focus on and excited about. And then that excitement, I find, kind of stokes the momentum of actually doing the thing. So feel free to play with that this week. You can always write me. Sometimes people write me with things they've been playing with, and they're like, oh yeah, I did this and this and this and this. So always feel free to write me at Clare, C-L-A-R-E, at downstage.ca. Or you can always just check out our website, and the website's on, the email's on there, downstage.ca. Cool. Okay, so speaking of focus, this is a theater game that we often play, often when we're finding characters, because when you're finding a character, sometimes you want your character to move a bit differently than you do in real life, and so we choose a different point of focus as far as the movement goes. So again, this is a pretty short song. It's only 1 minute and 21 seconds, so you can either just watch me play or you can feel free to come play along. And we're just going to move from different points of focus throughout this 1 minute and 21 seconds. So I will call it out. I'll say what point of focus we're moving from, and then we'll move around the space, whatever space you have from that point of focus. Here we go. We're going to start with our right finger, moving in your entire body with the point of focus leading from the right finger. That's where you're leading from. Keep breathing. Let the right finger lead you. Let the right finger be your whole point of focus, body responding to your right finger. Good, and now switch it to your belly. Let your belly lead you around the space. That seat center leading you, let your head be relaxed. Good. Now let your left toes lead you. How does that change your movement? Really let that left toe lead you. Nice. Thanks for playing along. That's fun. You can keep doing that for a while. I could do that for a long time, leading from different parts of the body. What fun is that? Changing your patterns. I find it even changes the way I think, sometimes the facial expressions I make, and that's part of how we build character in theater. Okay, one last silly thing and then we'll do some deep relaxation. So I was thinking about focus and this idea of momentum and thinking about what silly song that would go with it. And then I thought about I'm a little teapot, because again, with focus, if you focus on something for a while, it tends to come to some kind of culmination, whether that's something we want or something we don't want. But focus tends to bring with it momentum, and momentum tends to bring with it more and more actualization. So, little teapot, boiling, let's try it. Join if you'd like to. So I'll do call and response to start, and then we'll do it all together. Here we go. So I'll point to me when I'm singing, and then to you, but I'll sing along with you when you're singing. I'm a little teapot, I'm a little teapot, short and stout, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my handle, here is my spout, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, when I get all steamed up, hear me shout, just tip me over and pour me out. Just tip me over and pour me out. Okay. All those actions, I didn't always point where I was supposed to, but I think you got the idea. Here we go. Let's do it all together. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Just tip me over and pour me out. Let's try that one more time. Here we go. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Just tip me over and pour me out. Oh, you're all such superstars. I wish I could see all of your teapots being poured out. I'm sure they were fantastic. Okay, great. So we're going to lie down now for final relaxation. I'm not going to lie down with you, but I do encourage you to get nice and comfortable. So you want to put a blanket on top of you if you'd like, or a sweatshirt or your socks. Make sure you're warm enough. Lie down on your back, and if you need something for under your knees, please feel free to do that. You want to be as relaxed as possible so you can really let your body be totally calm, your mind calm, your breath nice and natural. So getting nice and comfortable in the ground. This is a little rotation of awareness and deep relaxation. Let the feet be a little bit wider than your hip bones, toes turned out naturally. Let the arms be out from the body a few inches, palms of the hands facing the sky. Roll your shoulders back and down and let the palms of your hands face up, or if they come in a little bit, that's fine too. Whole body relaxing into the ground. Let the front of your body be heavy. Let the back of your body be heavy. Let your whole body sink into the floor. We'll do a rotation of awareness. As I name a body part, repeat the name of that body part in your mind, or see that body part in your mind and let it relax. Right hand thumb. First finger. Second finger. Third finger. Fourth finger. Palm of the right hand. Back of the right hand. Right wrist. Right forearm. Right elbow. Right upper arm. Right shoulder. Right armpit. Right side of the torso. Right hip. Right thigh. Right knee. Right calf. Right shin. Right ankle. Top of the right foot. Big toe. Second toe. Third toe. Fourth toe. Fifth toe. Sole of the right foot. Left hand thumb. First finger. Second finger, third finger, fourth finger, palm of the left hand, back of the left hand, left wrist, left forearm, left elbow, left upper arm, left shoulder, left armpit, left side of the torso, left hip, left thigh, left knee, left calf, left shin, left ankle, top of the left foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, sole of the left foot, right buttock, left buttock, lower back, lower belly, middle back, upper belly, upper back, the chest, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, back of the neck, front of the neck, the jaw, right cheek, left cheek, the nose, right ear, left ear, right eye socket, left eye socket, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, the eyebrow center, forehead, top of the head, back of the head. Become aware of the space behind your eyelids, the friendly darkness, and let your whole body relax into that friendly darkness for a few deep breaths here. keeping your eyes closed, become aware of your whole body lying on the ground. Keeping your eyes closed, begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Keeping your eyes closed, stretch your body from the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes, and slowly coming up to sitting when you're ready. Thank you all so much for your practice today, those of you joining live and those of you that pressed play on a recorded version. Again, we're back every Monday, 2 p.m. Mountain Time at DownstageYYC on Instagram, and then you can also check out downstage.ca where we have all the recordings as well. Thank you.